Good afternoon, and welcome on in to the afternoon edition of From Day One. We do have our good old court in place here for today. And today, a father takes his lumps.
Okay. All right. Let me get my notes. Okay. So,
I sure did.
no, I was going to tell him, Daniel, Judson's just right here. He's right beside me. He was in a mediation and he just walked across the street. So, okay. All right. I am going to go ahead and modify the visitation order. Daniel, you're in a bit of a spot. I mean, you live in Florida, and I'm not faulting you for that. I wouldn't mind living in Florida, but you're a long way from the girls, and right now you're really in a spot with this DWI. Now, look, I'm not presuming that you're guilty or anything like that. I mean, and I hope you beat the charge. That's not the point, but.
This judge is so nice. That's what's going on here. Where he's got a DWI apparently. Okay, fine. That's bad. And he says I'm not presuming, but he's suspicious that it might be right. But this is the nicest judge, and we're in a red state, and it's set up as well as it possibly could be for a guy seeking custody of his children, and he is getting nowhere. He does himself no favors. He gets a DWI, and he makes mistakes that are kind of funny that he admits to here. But I mean, he's got no chance.
But this driver's license thing is, even though it seems so insignificant in the big picture, it's kind of a significant thing. I don't know anything really about the about Florida's business purposes only type license, but it sounds very familiar to something that we have in Texas, which would be an occupational license. I did take the liberty of just looking online at Florida's law concerning business only, or actually there's another one. One is business only and one is employment only licenses. And both of them, none of them seem to imply that you can drive around with your kids. So and I wish I knew I could predict in the future when this whole matter would be resolved, when your driver's license would be fully reinstated, all those other things, but I can't. So I'm going to have to make some decisions today. Wait, let me finish. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to make some decisions today, which I'm assuming sometime in the near future you'll be able to come back and we can make some adjustments. So so I am going to restrict your visitation, your possession and access to Jefferson County. You can choose that 1 weekend a month. But look, unless you specifically have a driver's license that says that you can drive with children in the car, you can't drive with the kids in the car.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it.
Mike, what did I tell you about the dogs?
Get that occupational license, I want you to, or whatever it is, I want you to, is a part of this, I want you to give it to Judson so that she can send it over to Ms. Kaufman so that we'll all be under. And any time that your driver's license status changes, for the better, hopefully, I want you to forward that on. In addition to that, I need you to contact your insurance company, and I want to be, and I'm sure you're okay. But I know in Texas, if you get your license suspended, it can have an effect on your insurance coverage. So I want you to also get an update from your insurance company about the status of your insurance. And like I said, it would be hard for me to believe that you're accused of DWI and the only consequence is they raise your insurance rates by $18. Now maybe and if that's the case, that's great. But I know in Texas, you have to actually you had to post a bond to show that you had some indicating financial responsibility, and that you were gonna, and I think you have to buy that policy for like up to a year. It used to be called an SR22, but anyway, I'm dating myself a little bit now. So anyway,
Well, then I'm dating myself too, because I remember the term SR22, Your Honor.
possession and access, the 1 weekend per month with 14 days in Jefferson County. You don't mind, I am going to let him have overnights, but you don't mind driving. You don't mind dropping the kids off at the hotel and then picking the kids up. That way, you'll kind of know where he is and what's going on.
Yes, sir.
You know.
She seems the ex-wife here seems very reasonable throughout this hearing, at least the way I'm seeing it. So yeah, you know, he probably did cause his own problems here, but I mean, look at what he's getting for custody. He's got kids. He lives in Florida. Okay, that's a decision he's made, and he got the DWI. That's his problem. But here's your access to your kids. You keep paying, and you can have one visitation a month in this county in Texas.
I guess you can find, if you bring someone with you, I guess, you know, you can obviously, you know, you'll have a driver with you. If not, I guess you can do the Uber thing. Let's see. You can, Miss Jennings, you can have periodic alcohol testing, you know, twice a month, but you got to give him enough notice to where he can get it done before, in other words, don't call him at 4 o'clock on a Friday and say you got to get it done in 24 hours. It's got to be some real practical hours.
Yes, sir.
Daniel, so were you somewhat persistent in calling Miss Mary on the phone? She said that she was getting all these calls, sometimes up to 60 a day. I mean, have you been calling that frequently?
That was before the temporary hearing when I wouldn't hear from them for days or weeks at a time. But yes, I acknowledge that I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll give you points for admitting that was probably a mistake. So look, so I'm not and he hasn't been doing that recently, has he, Mary?
Not to that extreme. Okay. Maybe 5 to 6 a day.
Well, still, I mean.
She is really nice. I feel for her. She's like, well, not to that extreme, but still 5-6 times like too much. Not 60. We're moving in the right direction.
That's. I don't even talk to my wife that often. And we kind of get along. So anyway, I just want the parents can. I'm trying to think of something that's that would be sufficient. The parents shall remain in reasonable contact. Now, I know I don't want to put exactly how many times that is, but look, you're admitting to me that 60 times a day is wrong. If you do, Daniel, if you go back and start doing that again, then I'll have to be more specific. On top of that, I'm not sure that might even constitute some sort of criminal charge, calling someone that often. So let's not engage in any extreme behaviors. The FaceTime, I think 3 times a week is sufficient, considering how far you live. I'm not trying to exclude you from your kids, but every day is probably a little extreme. Once a week is probably not enough. So let's just say 3 times a week. Y'all can. I'll let the attorneys try to figure out a good time and date. You mentioned like maybe close to bedtime, Mary.
Yeah, during the summertime, it doesn't matter the time of day, but during school hours, I would prefer 5 to 9 in the evening.
Okay, sometime between 5 until 9 on the evenings. Look, at some point.
I don't know if she's putting on a front here in court or if she's just that reasonable, but she is saying nothing that suggests that she's the problem to me.
I hope you guys can get past all this, and then you can kind of. Giving you the right to agree, between yourselves on altering any of this stuff. I just because I can't, I can't micromanage this forever. And then on the child support, Daniel, you had said you wanted to use your IMG income, but looking at your paycheck stub, your IMG income would, and I ran through these numbers, but let me run through them again real quickly. So your year to date on this paycheck through pay period April 9 was $13,277.43. That was over a 99-day period. So I divided that by 99, and I came up with 48,952. And there's not an excessive amount of overtime on here. Like I said, for 3 months, there was only $300, $380 in overtime. So I don't think your overtime is killing you. But I do have to include overtime and other benefits. So it's just kind of it's a mathematical thing. There's not a lot of wiggle to that. So I used the chart. So I divided the $48.95 by 12 and got $4,080. I went through the chart and I came up with, 33.63. Mary, you're sure about that $350 a month for 2 other kids? That seems a little high.
Yes, sir, I am. It's through, it's called, I can grab the card.
Well, no, I believe you. I'm just asking, are you sure, though, it's an additional $350?
I'm positive because for me, myself, and my other daughter, it's $350 alone that I pay monthly.
All right. By law, Daniel, well, hang on, Daniel. Let me tell you something. I do have a question for you. By law, you're supposed to reimburse her for that cost. Mary, I need you to send your proof of that. I need you to show what you're...
This is just such a weird hearing for me on this channel, in that the father, the guy made some mistakes. He's got a DUI and he's calling too much. Okay, he does some stuff. But during the hearing, both of them are just absolutely pleasant and reasonable, along with the judge. It's almost strange. I'm not used to it with the crazy.
No, Mike, you aren't.
Your old cost was, and then I need you to send the new what the new cost will be to Ms. Kaufman, and then she can send it to Judson so that they can kind of double check us on that.
Yes, sir.
But Daniel, do you? And look, I'm not talking about just going and get a policy off the somewhere. Do you? But if you get a better job and they have for insurance and it's cheaper than that, I mean, you at some point you'll have, I'll give you the opportunity to carry the kids. The difference is you're going to have to pay it on your end, so rather than her end. So, okay. So, all right. So I subtracted the 350 and I multiplied it by the 22.5% because you have Rocco. And you've got these 2 kids, so it comes up with $677.25 plus, though you got to pay the $350. So it's a big. That's a lot of money. But I'm just going pretty much by scientifically and by the math. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't earn it and he hasn't done dumb things. You'll hear even more about it coming up here. But this is your basic ruling. Just. We're taking all your money, and no, you don't get to see the kids. Thank you. Have a nice day. And like I said, this is in Texas, a red state with the nicest judge on the planet. This is as good as it's ever going to get for a man.
I'm not. There's no spin in that on my part. So all right. So for henceforth, until the court further modifies this order based on a new set of material and substantial change in circumstances, it'll y'all can have the visitation will be at mutually agreed times. In the absence of a mutually agreed times, it'll be at in Jefferson County once 1 weekend with 14 days notice. No driving. Keeping Mary updated on the license status and also your insurance status. And Mary will pick up and drop off. Shall we pick a hotel somewhere? I mean, when you stayed here before, where did you stay?
Wherever I can get deals. I have Expedia, so I get points on certain things. I try to find deals, so staying at the same one wouldn't be beneficial.
Well, Mary, you live down in Hampshire, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how about this? I do want to give you the flexibility so you can find a good deal, Daniel. So, if I said within a hotel within the city limits of Beaumont, would that be okay?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Have you been watching any of this?
I did watch part of it. Sorry, I was like running around trying to
Oh, welcome.
you know,
Yeah.
make sure that I was ready to go.
Deborah
It's not
Davis.
unusual. The husband and wife are reasonable, except for he was calling her 60 times a day.
16 times a day.
Is 59 would be okay? 60 is like your breaking point, or what?
But so it's that, and this judge is so nice. He is so freaking nice.
Spoken.
He makes Judge Middleton look cranky. That's how nice this judge is.
That fighting words.
That's pretty rough.
That fighting words for sure.
All right. That way,
I can never go to Houston with him or anything like that because there's a lot of stuff to do.
No. Now look, if you and Mary agree, you can do anything. And like I said, I wish I had some way to where I could, see where we are in 6 months from now, where we are in a year from now. But I just can't keep a case open and indefinite. Like I said, when if you can demonstrate to me sometime in the future that well, and let me add one more thing. Mary has brought up a lot of things. Some of them she may be, with all due respect, she may be a little overprotective. And
You think?
I think that, however, Daniel, and I'm trying to be as gentle about this as I can, but you have made a string of poor decisions over a period of time.
Sure has.
And I'm not trying to beat you up, but let's face it, you had a deputy sheriff job, making $50-something thousand a year, and you had a driver's license and all that other stuff.
Very basic.
And not the divorce is a divorce. We're not going back on that. But then you lost that job, and I know you tried to blame that on Mary, but I mean, we have to take responsibility for something at some point. I mean, she's not in your job. Well, I understand, and that's good. That's good.
What do you do
I'm
to
not
lose
changing
your job?
I've kind of made my mind here. But I wanted to be sure that you understand that I don't really harbor any ill will towards you. But you've kind of had a string of bad decisions. You lost the deputy.
I mean, you see how nice he is. I mean,
yeah, a string of bad decisions. But what did he do to lose his job? I'm curious.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Okay, so you've done this. I didn't realize it until I was on that stream with you and Rob.
And you were like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Yeah, you guys got into UCMJ or some of the, I can't remember what.
UCCJEA? You'll get it someday.
UCCJEA, like I said, I did one post-decree hearing, when I was about 2 years out of law school, and I walked out of that and said, no, never again.
Not doing these. I mean, we call it post-judgment, but post-decree, like, same idea. Like, it was finalized, and now they're coming back and wanting something different. Those are really tough because it's not like the initial split of things. It's, okay, you guys agreed on this, or the court ordered this. In order to change it, you have to reach a very high standard, and people don't understand that. Like, well, it's my kids, and this is what's best for them. Okay, but there's a legal standard that we have to weave into that, and sometimes you just can't meet it.
And of course, you can imagine I only did it one time, but it was pure emotion. I can't remember what the substance.
Oh yeah.
The substance was nonsense. It was just a post-decree motion to annoy my ex. The end. It's what they all are.
A lot of them are.
Sheriff's job, which is probably a pretty good job. Making $50-something thousand, and then. Then the next thing is that you get into your relationship is, let's put it this way, somewhat of a roller coaster with your other, the mother of your other child, Mary. I bet she's
okay. Now here's where I won't defend my brother here. He went and had another kid with another woman.
I mean, you gotta be careful about that.
I get it, but you okay? So your life isn't good. Well. That's going to happen. At some point, you got to stop.
It's not coming for 4th of July now, I suspect. Anyway, so that's all there's, so you've got some turmoil there. Then you had another pretty good job with IMG. That sounds like a neat job, actually. But now because of the, then you got this DWI accusation. Well, so now
he does remind me of Judge Middleton in that he knows everything. Oh, we lost you, Debbie.
We've gone from
you got rid of Debbie. How rude.
To a little bit, not quite as good a job with IMG, and now we're, kind of in the pizza delivery business with a limited driver's license. So, I mean, I don't know. I really couldn't make any heads or tails about the gambling thing. I didn't really factor that in too terribly much, but you got a kind of a up and down relationship with the mother of your other child. I'm just like I said, you just had a bad string of some bad decision making. It's not like you murdered anybody or anything like that, but still, the fact that you are so far away in Florida and that you got this suspended license, and I know that Judson did try to get this case postponed and delayed, but look, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, I just, who knows when this is all going to get resolved. If you're vindicated and I think your employment is stabilized, when you can kind of, not get fired or not get a criminal charge over an extended period of time, and you've got a stable living situation, and, you're not so kind of back and forth on the girlfriend thing, stability is kind of the big thing. So I know that's
you see it every day. He's got a gambling issue. He's got a drinking issue.
Yeah, gambling, drinking.
Guy, so the ladies will still hook up with him, and they love bad boys. So he's
former police officer,
police officer because he was doing dumb stuff there. He has horrible judgment.
Did he say we're doing a pizza delivery thing, or he is a pizza delivery guy? But he can't be because he doesn't have a license. I'm super confused.
He describes that. Apparently he's got a good job, and then the judge says, now we're down to the pizza delivery business and with a restricted license. I'm like, that's about as low as it gets right there.
Hey man, there's dignity in any job, as Judge Middleton would say. But
any honest work is good.
Florida from Texas, and you want to try to visit your kids now or kid, it's gonna be rough. That's an expensive ticket or a lot of driving to find somebody to drive you there.
Yeah, and we already know the order is he's got to do it in that county in Texas. That's the only visitation. Because of the driving restriction.
Yeah, I mean, if there's only one kid, I guess you could put him on the back of your bicycle or something.
Yeah.
Pegs, get those pegs for your bicycle.
I mean, I would Uber, but I don't see where this guy has the gas money to go back and forth delivering pizzas.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's not a good situation.
Yes. That's
$400 a gallon.
Just give me a list of things I need to do so I can come back and fix this. But it's just it's a little difficult to do that. Plus, even if you did everything I asked you to do, some other thing could pop up that no one anticipated, and that would throw the whole thing. I think
another baby or something. Is that what he's saying?
When things are better, and maybe
I'll say yes.
And if you see that Mary is a little more, feels more, open to the idea of more time, I think that would be the right time. If y'all need to come to court, and I'll try to, come up with a plan that's even better. Okay. So, petition is granted and rendered, and Sonia, you'll prepare the order. Judson, do you have any questions?
I just have a couple questions. Can we factor in any longer than any extended periods of possession here in Jefferson County with the same stipulations?
Possession, that's such a weird term with kids.
Summer, anything to give some form of extended possession.
I don't know. I'm kind of open to that. If that's something that you and Sonia can discuss, I might be open to that. But guys, I'm just trying to create an order that's intelligible, and I just.
Okay, so the last time I did another video on this guy, and a lot of people were telling me he's Dr. Phil. He sounds like Dr. Phil. Do you get that vibe?
No. He's got the accent.
Oh,
don't
gee.
know how to do that.
I didn't get that vibe.
Mary, in all fairness, if that any weekend with 14 days notice, there's no exclusions. I mean, that could be around Christmas time. That could be right around Thanksgiving. That could be spring break. So in return for such a limited time, I'm kind of leaving it wide open for him to choose his days and his time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Judson.
The periodic alcohol testing, is that at any time, or is that before he's going to have a visit? I'm trying to drill down on that a little.
We'll do it anytime, Judge. I'll do it anytime.
Okay, well, that's good. Sonia, did you have something in mind on the alcohol testing?
Good sign. Good sign.
I think there's a place on I-10 Advantage Testing that does alcohol testing, and what I've done in some other cases is ask that the report be submitted within a couple of hours of the visitation.
All right. Are you willing to? You think that'll work for you, Daniel?
I don't have a problem doing it. It's such a time crunch driving, here and then spending a day and a half, 2 days with them and driving back. I just don't want it to be anything that's going to take hours. I don't mind doing it at all, but I don't just what the best option is as far as time.
Okay. All right. So Sonia, can you just try to figure out this very specifics and just be sure it's something kind of workable?
I kind of have some thoughts on this whole
like I said, until
testing thing.
Go for it.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so there's urine screens, there's, breathalyzer, PBT type thing. A PBT takes, 30 seconds. Honestly, any police officer can give it. It's a lot less expensive. If they're asking for urine screens, okay, so the alcohol will stay in your system. Even one alcoholic drink, like a beer or whatever, will still show up in your system on an ETG urine screen for around 72 hours. So if your concern is you don't want him drunk while he's with the child, really a PBT would be sufficient, right? And it would be quicker. You can do it anywhere. I don't know. I just feel like there are times where I prefer to have a urine screen for them because if it's a continuing drinking problem, it's not just like, I don't want them to consume alcohol while they have the child. I really think a PBT is sufficient for that. And he's right. I don't know how far
he's not a scram or anything.
Right. So, I don't know. I just think that's maybe a little overkill.
The guy went 0 for 3 in things that mess up men's lives. Okay? The most obvious 3.
Gambling.
Women,
drinking.
gambling, and drinking.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll take them all.
Oh, wait, and then add in that extra, the children with multiple women. That also gets you right there.
I understand it, but it's going to mess up your life.
Yeah. It's not ideal. But hey, I mean, at least he's trying. He's here. He's, responding. Do they have some sort of FaceTime or video chat option? Like, how old is this
Interesting
child?
you say that. Watch and see. No, that's interesting because I didn't even think of that, but it does come up.
I see it in writing. I'm really not sure how, what Judson's objections would be, or if I see any, can anticipate any problems. But draft that up, and then I am authorizing reasonable drug testing. If that's what you have in mind, I think we can make that work. But I'll need to really see how it's written out, if you don't mind, before I, jump all over it. Okay?
If it's who's going to pay for the alcohol test?
Sonia, your client will have to pay for the alcohol test. Okay?
Judge, I have a couple of questions, if I may.
Okay.
May we include a finding in the final order that the child support arrearages are not waived?
Yes. I mean, if you guys want to get with Dana before this is over and try to include it in there, that's okay. Technically, she's supposed to be in here anyway.
Sonia, I'm not opposed to that idea.
Okay. I'll work on that. And lastly, I think everybody agreed for a judgment in Mary's favor of $3,500 for the stimulus payments. So maybe we include that in the order.
Was that y'all's agreement?
I think he agreed to what I'm
Okay.
saying.
You said you would pay it back, I think, Daniel?
Yeah, but I obviously don't have $3,500 in my pocket. I will pay it back with the arrearages, no problem.
Stimulus
Yes.
payments.
Okay. All right.
Have we set up a repayment plan for that?
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. So. Okay.
That's all we can do.
Okay.
Would you mind? Could you tie it all into one? Would that
I
be?
spent it at the meal
The man's delivering pizzas.
check already.
It's
Yeah,
not
right.
good.
Attainable?
We'll figure. I don't know, because you're really, one is supposed to go through the child support office. The other one is supposed to go directly to you. Maybe let them talk to the attorney general if they're willing to be the, kind of the manage that. Then I'm okay with it. I'm not trying to make it harder. I can really see that would be easier, but I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. Judson, did you have any other questions or anything?
Can't think of it.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Yes, sir, Daniel?
Yeah, I just one thing, especially with them, is there a time on when they can come to Florida, or I have to hire another attorney, and I'm just.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't know where you're going to be in 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Right.
Look, Daniel, I think it's always best that kids have a good relationship with their family. They're.
Yeah, I mean, it's his fault. I mean, you go off to another state. What do you expect? And there's a limit to what the judge can order.
For their dads and their moms, and I think it's good for the kids to have a good relationship with their half brother and all those cousins and stuff. I just, if certainly when they're older, certainly, I do need to, I've tried to tell you what I thought were kind of your, things that you needed to work on. If that situation is improved, the DWI is improved. A couple more years, maybe time just to see if you and Mary can both start getting, co-parenting on some level a bit. Now, co-parenting doesn't mean one person's in charge all the time, but generally the parent with the primary right to establish the resident is probably going to have a little more say-so over the children's life than the other one. But I need you guys to quit fussing. Daniel, I want you to have your rights as a father. I really do. Like I said, this might have turned out a whole lot differently 6 months ago, and it might look different 6 months from now. But I can't just leave this thing open indefinitely. So, Judson, I've known Judson a long time. And I think he can kind of help you try to piece together, maybe some ideas about some things that you guys can work on when you come back to court. But I can't, like I said, yes, that does mean maybe getting attorneys involved. I'll tell you what, I'll do this much just to try to reduce that. I'll also include in the order that before any further mediation, visitation, and access, that you guys would attempt mediation in advance. Okay. All right. That'll even save some of the expenses and the cost, much to Judson and Sonia's dismay, because So, but anyway, let's try to do that. Like I said, Daniel, I know your kids like you and stuff like that, and I know it's breaking your heart, but man, there's just some things I just really can't overlook right now. So let's get it together, and nothing would make me happier than to sign an order eventually, just normalizing things for you and your kids. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Just as far as, I'm not picking on her or anything, just Mary she just wants me, no part of her life, whatever, doesn't tell me anything going on. I ask a question, I can't get an answer to what time a game is, nothing, figure it out, answer I get.
It will already be included in the order, I think, that y'all are supposed to communicate about the children's health, education, and welfare. And But I do want to. But look, also when you're in the middle of a case like this, parents do not communicate well because they're kind of on edge and they're So y'all can loosen up a little bit now. I think we've got something in place that'll work. Mary, I am gonna, and I can't think of any of the standard orders anywhere, but I am gonna order that you guys communicate about the children's activities, the extracurricular activities. That's because I think health, education, and welfare covers everything else. So y'all will stay in touch. Do you guys want to do the family wizard thing so that there's a track of communications between the two? It's a minimal cost.
Wizard.
I'll leave that up to the attorney.
Do you guys use Family Wizard?
I have before. I mean, not personally myself, but my husband and I do communicate still. Like, we live in the same house. But I have used it for clients before, where it's like an app that you do pay. I want to say it's like $100 a year, or it was a few years ago, and it tracks all of your communications. So instead of texting back and forth, it's in this app, and then the calendars are on there, so there's no argument about whose day or what time it is. Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
Just basically a monitored messaging app.
Yeah, basically. So then it's like, I think there's even parts you can see that somebody did read it. Like, well, I never got that text. Like, actually, it says you opened it on such and such day and time.
Yeah, it would stop all the foundation for all this stuff. It's like, okay, yeah. We already seen it.
Yeah. So I mean, it does work.
And of course, make people behave. I mean, you're not going to get nasty on Family Wizard if you have any brains.
Right. There was some app a while back that had like some sort of a filter, so that say you emailed something really like poison pen,
right.
Probably shouldn't have sent it, but you clicked send, it would go through this filter where somebody or a computer, whatever, would look at it and say, oh, nope, we're going to take those F words and B words out of there and edit this back. So, I mean, there are those options too. Some people do need that.
So I'm just asking for that consideration, but it's kind of like a chat room that you guys can both use. That if some kind of issue comes up in court, you can show what communications have gone on between the two of you, and maybe it will help clear up because you'll both have access to all those discussions. It'll clear up if there's some confusion about something. All right. But if y'all do something like that, just post the events. Matter of fact, it would not be. I think it would be good parenting if you would maybe just, if you do use a Family Wizard, just give him a little update on the children's activities on a weekly basis. Okay, it doesn't have to be long or drawn out.
Is there more than one child with her?
But that would you should do the same. Okay. About their half brother Rocco. Okay. That way the girls can stay in touch. All right. If there's nothing further, I'll let you guys go. Both attorneys, y'all did a good job, honestly.
Okay. All right. So you got a stream starting here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
What are we doing on there?
I have a few things that I found that I would like for us to watch. I only watched like the first few minutes of them and read a few of the comments, and I thought, yeah, we should watch this together.
Oh no! Did you record them or?
Crossed. No, I mean it's like, do I get to screen share and play them? Right? I downloaded them.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if I did this right, but I set it up so that when I close this stream, it'll redirect to your stream.
Oh, fancy. I saw somebody so nicely shared it on there. That's really nice. So hopefully we don't screw this up.
Your thumbnail cracked me up.
Yeah, I thought, this is a good one. I'll use that. I think I spelled Povich wrong, though. After I looked at it, I thought, that doesn't look right. I think there's a letter missing, but sorry, Maury.
Well, no worries. All right, well, that sounds like fun. All right, get out of here. You guys send me a link, too.
Yeah, I gotta. Oh yeah, you kind of need that, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. So go get your stream ready, and I'll see you in like 3 minutes. But I'm gonna play the rest of this and then close it down so that everyone who wants to can go over there and check it out. It'll be fun.
right, well, hopefully you guys do. Peace out. See you then.
All right, see ya.
It was very tough. But you guys, but hopefully this will kind of, but it seems like I've been with you guys quite a bit over the last several years. So let's just hope that we can take a break for a while and y'all kind of focus on getting things together and focus on the kids. And maybe the next time I see you guys, it'll be maybe some sort of agreed order where we can, expand that visitation out a little bit. Okay? All right. Anything else, Ms. Kaufman?
No, sir. Thank you.
Anything, Judson? Okay. And Maritza, can you give her a entry date?
July the 11th at 8:30.
Okay. Also on the exhibits, I'm going to go ahead and give Judson back his exhibits. Sonia, I'll hang on to yours somewhere. And the next time that you have next time you're down here, or if you have someone that's driving back and forth, they can come up and pick them up for you. Okay. If y'all want them a part of the record, though, you'll have to be filed in the case. Okay. All right. If there's let you go. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. I just thought that was a warm, touching Father's Day tribute. We've got a father who apparently likes to gamble. He's got a problem with the ladies, and had some issues with alcohol. I don't know how deep. It made me warm and fuzzy. I don't know. All right, so we're all going to go over to Ms. Davis's.
All right, I'll let you go over to Miss Davis. Have fun. Thank you very much, Mike, for the love. Till then, that'll conclude the afternoon session. Of course, come on back for the evening tonight with our frauditors, auditors, substance, and Karens, and of course in the overnight where the final section of Art Bell will take place. Till then, like, share, and subscribe. Help us get to that goal of 50,000 views, 1,000 subscribers. So Boxy sends those nice red boxes we can send to y'all. And of course, Coinbase, Ibotta, and Gain.gg are also there. Those 1,000 subscribers will get us back on the YouTube algorithms. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe. Be kind to one another and release the Krakens as we march this afternoon and every afternoon here from day one. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight.